it was going to be a favorable response. So he came in about 15 minutes and said no, they would not do so. They will not vary the conditions to give self-recognizance. So then I told Mr. Marcelinus Bia, one of my lawyers who accompanied me, okay, Marcel, go to the office. I have indenture in my name. Just bring it. And my office is just, you can see, you can attest. There's less than 10 meters drive to the OSP. So Marcel came, long story short. So Mr. Jean asked that I be handcuffed and taken to custody. That it was too late, and that even when we brought the indenture, they would have to do verification. So practically talking about justification for exchanging words with a soldier who didn't know the right thing. He's not supposed to be performing police duties. A soldier performing police duties in the OSP. You see the very thing we'll be talking about. Article 210 of our constitution is clear that look, you soldiers for war and then maybe some development activities. But here you had the police, two policemen in there, and so if anything, if you think the building is under threat, anything, you use the soldiers as backup. But if you go to the OSP, the soldiers are performing front.
Just talk to people.
This thing have been mentioned that soldiers are taking away the work of the police. You see, it has manifested.
I think that we don't need to waste time to go through this petition. The office of the special prosecutor Nankasa, yeah, and for so be any so.
Office lemon,
then back to your friend saying jokers Yomugu electoral commissioning. Yeah, I think that you see, my culture said these guys are jokers because omuye nipa omo scintilla of respect for themselves, an iota of respect for themselves. And kaye niha and ko bia metena ha meka petition asem. Because what you do is say the very moment elections no go wrong now, yeah, you tender in your resignation and you go home. And that will not be the first time. We've had instances where even more powerful people have been asked to go home. Yet the Chroma say, your friend is saying,
Mr. check us out and the matters a background for be and Namasie. Mr. Moncheck Mammy.
So yeah, so what's here, your friend is saying, Nema Akoswa, a month for resigning from a more powerful position as a chain way. Now, no, yet here in UK, how many prime ministers now resign here? How many? About in a succession because Niema no moye in a position of muteki here no infringe on public trust, public confidence, and for that matter, they resigned and nobody put a gun to their head. But we live in a society that then Obianye ready to do those things. And then back to America, my culture said they had a time a vice president, Spiro Agnew. Because when he was a senator in Maryland at the time, you know, he was fingered in a case of corruption. When he came up, he was forced to resign as a vice president of a powerful country in the world, America. 9 months after, the sitting president, Nixon, that was when the Watergate scandal popped up. The president was also forced to resign. So this will not be the first time. We've had instances where people have resigned from most powerful offices. So how the election was conducted in 2020 and 2024, and some of the commentaries that Jean Mensah and for running will chrome her. Any decent-minded person will tender your resignation, thank the people of this country, and walk away. Because some of this petition was expected, but petitions are air trying seeking to remove Jean Mensah and microphone a bag so kaya. These things have gone through filter. And into 6 me say ye giant can the bebano and yen near marketwa. Petition na abano. 7 petition no. Let me break it down, yeah. Each brothers and sisters. Yes. You see, some of these petitions you can never survive.
Yeah.
You can, because one petition may allege about 4, 5, and now 20 allegations. Even if one goes through, you go home.
Yeah.
So one petition can allege 20 or 30 infractions. Even if one goes through, you are going home. How much more 7 different petitions? Let's say Obia alleged like 10 different allegations. So that will give you at 70. If you fall on even one, you are going home. So you don't subject yourself to this. Not as if said there are people who minorities today, they are being hounded.
Yeah.
When they were foolishly acting in this particular country against the will of the people of this country, what did they do? Yeah. At the time, everything favored them. When we were very much concerned about the sanctity of our democracy and the fact that the actions and the inactions of the Electoral Commission at the time, could turn this particular country into a war zone, they never heed to any of the wise counsel that anybody said. IPAC, which has for a very long time has been some sort of a body.
Yeah.
We engage dialogue and seek the way forward. It was at some point in time they weaponized it wasn't anymore about dialogue.
Yeah.
It was about accepting in toy parties and toy presidential candidates and using the numbers to do elections on key issues. So the culture of having to deliberate and coming to a consensus was thrown away. The Electoral Commission was dictating at the behest of their individual wishes and rather well imposing it on political party. Is the reason why when NDC dropped out of the IPAC, the Electoral Commission could not do anything to bring them back because they thought, but we were going into a very crucial election and the security of this particular country was on the line. Yeah, we sat in this country when Jean Mensah deliberately on Friday cut the people of SAR from the register.
Yeah.
And they were denied constitutional representation for a period of 4 good years. That alone is enough ground for their removal. And if possible, they need to even go to jail for that. Yeah. Because that is a constitutional requirement. Our constitution says every Ghanaian in every nook and cranny of this country deserve a representation in parliament. So for you to unilaterally sit at your office and your friends say a whole community, the diabolic intention was to ensure that Amewu will win the seat for the MPP, and that's exactly what he did. And subsequent to that, she could have conducted election for the people, but we sat in this country for good years. Minority, not much China. They went for holidays, so they didn't see what has happened. So people say, you see, politics here,
yeah.
We need to do this policy of decency. Sebaya oba abontina wo allegia, a man of good conscience will find sense in whatever you're saying. Say, oh, asema papa ike no kreo. But you do not build such a castle of such nonsense in your favor. And at the end of the day, people are seeking to break down that castle. You come back and complain. Yeah. No sensible person who agree with you. So for me, I think that the petition that have been submitted to the president, they are in line with constitutional requirement, and President Mahama doesn't have a choice, because once it has been submitted to him, it is his job to forward it to the Chief Justice. They establish the prima facie or not. Yeah. At the end of the day, if they are able to establish credence, then the committee will be set up and the necessary thing will have to be done. And subsequent to that, the president will have to follow through with the dictate of the committee. And that's exactly what is going to happen in this particular country. And for me, I think that, you see, these are shameless bunch of people. On their own, they will not resign. Just like Toko no dear, yeah, the way by this same individual, because yeah, say now we electoral commissioner. Now we yes sober reflection now too anywhere near my Koso Kroma. But Machoma no Free University of Ghana by friends BossmanAsare. This is somebody from academia. This is somebody from academia.
Yeah.
All but on board, you could see a certain intelligence will be brought to bear. But on no crowd there, not choke. Yeah. This is a guy who made a categorical statement here. One of the critical stakeholders in the electoral enterprise process, and the NDC, a threat to Ghana democracy. And this person sat there as a neutral arbiter and an independent person who was supervising elections. Does it make sense? And Jean Mensah, the belligerent posturing that they assumed, oh, Makasa Yebeya, the registration center, no, our district level, no, there, a lot of people were denied because Okonofwa to travel from a district capital to some of the villages,
Yeah.
Now I feel no better car now. When you register now, when they go hand them, our district, this stop a lot of people from exercising their franchise. And I think that if you want evidence, you can go to the north and you get millions of evidence. So for me, these people have crossed the Anakwaba could be a council for anything. Also in classic and these people, such uncultured beings, should not be sitting at the Electoral Commission. When issues came, very contentious issue, and people were doubting the credibility of the electoral register. What are some of kind? Oh, register na to about that. Yes, this is somebody who feed from the taxpayer. This is somebody who feed from he rather uttering nonsense to the people of this country. So for me, because they did all this thing because they felt they were in a comfortable zone because somebody brought them on board for a particular agenda. And so far as the person was in power, their tenure was safeguarded. What I say? And the 2020 elections, 2024 elections, the parliamentary elections, look at issues. One of them, Pandaya. So this Pandai issue is another prima facie for the incompetence of the Electoral Commission. And several of such cases are likely to pop up. So for me, I think that nobody on his right senses in this country can sit and say, the Electoral Commission is being hounded. O can say the conduct Electoral Commission is conduct. You see, we live in a country where very reactionary, emotional people. SMC and catch and say, "Oh, let us forgive." No, we cannot do that. For me, I think that some of these things, we need to establish the conventional red lines. Man for who say your file say be easy. Your file say be Chief Justice, and ya wona na konwa and enya wo fia konwa. Unti metena so fa medin sem hunu. A day of reckoning, a day of accountability will come. That is the message that we need to send to people out there, so that we all be measured in our endeavor. Because President Mahama is the president of this country, but he cannot wake up a day and say, "Me na me president, me pe meye." O yira maje, o yefeze usika na bank mafa. He cannot do that. Because he is also operating as president within the limit of the law. What I say? But you cannot sit in a public office and be acting foolishly and belligerently. They were not amenable to wisdom. They were not amenable to reasoning. They were acting at the behest of their own twisted kind of emotions or whatever interest that they had at the time. This is the time for us to go through the constitutional process. I don't care what anybody says, oh, Mahama Baye, or try to. He's resetting the country. And anybody, any individual, any institution, biana, the actions or inactions, identity, the credibility and attracting the foundations of our democracy must go down. Because no single person is bigger than this country. And I'll be disappointed if President Mahama doesn't do that. Because that is what he told the people of this country. So I'm sure, now he's ready to go through everything and nobody should sway him. The constitutional process should be allowed to go through another day. If it is established that Jean Mensah and his people are clean, they should continue to do their job. We will welcome them with the double arms. But if it happens that the actions, the inactions, in the past, threaten your democracy, the constitution can say fertile grounds for their removal, then they need to go home. There is no pity about some of these things because actions must have consequences, and there is no way to go about it than to make sure that these petitions go through.
All right, Doda Watara, I don't know if I got your name correct. I think I will complain with the sound. I think it has been corrected. Ni Paku Ado. Was it your sound guy? Oh. Why it has been sorted. Tracy Spark or say, okay. Oh, then I think messages in the margin war innocent submission also. Mofanchem why Blaze say yeah, read your message and fix the problem. Patrol, the problem has been fixed. Tracy say it's now okay. Kobna Ochria or see you are not. Oh, I'm reading the comments. That's another more.
So they can't sound on back.
Oh, I think there was a background. President Mahama voice be Namasie. And now said they are finding difficult to hear what they know. Ruby ABC or say, oh, okay, it has been fixed, so don't worry. Bliss or say Ivan is a top-notch communicator. Abdul Razak or say they read comments after the show. My wife said the money number bomb charge. Noah the ark builder. But say this country doesn't just need anyone keke to lead us as a nation, but a pragmatic and decisive, competent person like Dr. Brian Champo. John Kofi or say good morning, yeah, Majo. So Beneza Mokto, so good morning, Mr. Ivan. As for you yesterday, but I'm praying that Class Media Facebook will not disappoint me. Please, I hope you are not disappointed. All right, thank you. John Kofi or say yeah, good morning, Pacho Maje was so Pimpina. Hey, a guy named Anasa saying, say that this the shareholder mean to me in Kawa TV. So OSP is like air coming out from rice cooker. It's just a useless office. The office must be investigated and jailed as well. Cause too much financial the state. All right. Yan to us na issues no edoso. You better na fi. Yet me make justice to all of them. Fallout from NPP revised constitution. And NPP first one more assistant woman na Justin Kodia from Pon and Ivan who follow ya or say adia bako say na apathy as your party. Say some people felt neglected. And then they've decided say review your more constitution now, more the jumano or more the old ABI executive MPs ebeka about one to participate in the upcoming flag bearership elections there, because I think that is what they are saying. Say a party now is see what party more say one of the issues more lose elections, you know. And at the toss be so almost some boy yensem trophy so boy say ye me I no na de kwaso president Mahama mamu no mayenka na power is transit nti enra dem abebre ne course so launching of their new constitution. Innocent.
Yeah, I think Justin Kodia is the perfect person to represent the state MPP woman.
Okay.
Yes, because he has demonstrated clearly how incompetent he has always been, and that is the sad state the party finds itself. So you see the mirror reflection. Yes. So so I am not surprised, because there be a cancer. The sad state MPP are degenerating into a na. So more biya born somewhere. They should look straight into President Akufo-Addo. Normon Kancheren say he did not only come to destroy Ghana, but rather he came to destroy the MPP as a tradition, from which our money to me money be because ever since they exited power, if you look at the state MPP go ma. What's in China, where you'll be aware admirer of Ghana's democracy, clearly you become disappointed because you might wish the MPP as an entity become more responsible, more efficient, will be led by men of higher moral integrity, conviction. But ever since they exited power, Niamo Moye are demonstrating nothing but incompetence, recklessness, and Niama unreasonableness elements, are quite overriding in the things that they do. Niamo Omo Ayebien who has a binyansa. For instance, when this idea was conceived of doing this top-down approach, maybe I can't be. They thought, oh, when the more anti-MPP enthusiasts. And whatever that comes up, whatever that comes up, we go for it. But President Kufuor came out and said the same thing. Is President Kufuor anti-MPP enthusiast? Kwame Pianimba, the same thing. The statement we made, he re-echoed the same thing. Said he didn't find any sense in what the MPP was doing. Makacha said, he who the gods want to destroy, they first make mad. Because this is people they are jump over Ghanaians. They think they are sitting on a certain high horses better than Obia. Yeah. So whatever they perceive to be right, that should be the state of play. Nothing will convince them to slide. And consistently, you could see that the party keeps degenerating and flop into the gutters. Even in doing their job as an responsible opposition party, that is not what they are doing. Go to Parliament and see how people like Afenyo Marken has transformed the place into a comic stance where people go there and, argue nothing but nonsense. That infuriates Ghanaians the more. Because what we watch proceedings in Parliament in quite recent now had the posturing of Afenyo Marken and his people and the debate on the topic, and the kind of posturing the positions. And very often, let's walk away kind of stance now. It is not something that convinces Ghanaians to forget about the excesses of the Akufo-Addo government, but rather it is rather an extension and a modern parliament, because you don't lose power and assume a set posturing, very stiff. That media and some opposition, you know, whatever happens, I'm against. You see, you must begin to appeal to the conscience of the people of this country who gave you a technical knockout in the elections. Now, no make a platform, you know, we say, so, and me as somebody, when you're worried about the depreciating numbers of the MPP. Now, I say, what should I be worried?
Are you part of them?
No, why should I be worried? I appreciate that the party will be efficient, but the fact of the matter, the numbers MPP have in parliament, if they have to blame, they should go to Akufo-Addo's doorstep and ask him, because he led a historically bad governance in this country. And no outcome no bunya. When they went to Kumasi and they wanted what you call, your friend is saying, the people of Wei, one of the largest constituencies in Kumasi, my friend is saying, when they were asking for a road, the president sat on radio. Kwabre. He told them when he got to the election, they to show their thumb somewhere. They decided not to vote. So if you had your friends are poor numbers in parliament, you come back and blame me. So there is no sympathy. Nobody is going to. After losing the seat in parliament, you know, even playing opposition role, no, you keep losing the numbers. You keep losing the numbers. So for me, I think that we need to sit down as a country. Now you look through the fine lines and tease out how opposition parties are supposed to behave. Because that is not what they are that is not what they are doing. And then they put themselves up for elections. Me makacha manfo say o he nipa yo motwahia de o he nanima animunyam kakra wom our person of high conviction value your friend say Kwabena Japan. Yes, and he is the person and MPP could have defaultly come say okay, the Ghana for form the party in Namui. Kwabena Japan is somebody sharply he's disconnected from all this nonsense that happened under Akufo-Addo. And he's a person who has proven to be a bit of a higher integrity as compared to the rest. And I agree, I am putting him there as the new face of the MPP. For me, that may even appeal to a certain Ghanaians. But you look at the individual like Brian Champon, who was at the center of a lot of criminal activities in this country, including the Ayawaso West Wagon, your friend saying a pandemonium that occasioned. You look at Baumia, who led the most abysmal economic downturn in the history of this country, and there was a haircut and other excesses that drove this particular economy into the gutters. And who again? Canada, Japan, who has verbally committed a lot of criminal atrocities against others. And I'm not saying so many people. This is a guy who has proven to be emotionally unstable. He's not predictable, and you cannot rely on him. Or to go haywire at any point in time. The presidency is a very nation. You are armed with the highest authority of the state. You cannot be unpredictable. You cannot be somebody who cannot be predicted. And says, I'm your president. Now they are Nibufua, they are not by. And then the other guy, also can't your friend say the education minister. On my catches or no, or Sesofo, Uncle Pentecost, non microphone, Uncle Preachy. Because he's not even, there is nothing about him that I care for president. And some of these things, you know, rather identity the aura and the sanctity of the office. Because the seekers, you know, must reflect the office. If you get to a time where any unruly character, any incompetent for anybody at all in the name of having amassed money through fair or foul means, you can say, I want to be president. You should know that country is in danger. Because the presidency, you know, is being seen in a certain light. Because in the past, you know, Papa he will be a fine president. But now, there is we don't attach that aura of reverence to the office anymore. Is there anybody at all can Papa say, I want to be president? No, I think that the MPP is an arena of comedy show in series. And I think that the outcome will come. Ghanaians will, because the opposition job there, that is not what they are doing. Even in opposition, look at the way they're conducting themselves. Common engagement with people like Kufo and Nko. Kufo has complained many times. Say, oh no, Obian ho engaging. And again, people who left the party, like Mimia Solo, Alan, and several others, certain effort could have been made. Say, okay, we made a mistake, so let us try to bring it. But they will never accept that they made a mistake. Now this is my running or my to the gutters. They still say, now I want to apply for. And somebody was telling me, say yeah, elections today, Ghana for MPP. So they will vote. You may say you are jokers. you are a joker. Because no rational sane person will make such your friend say analysis on TV. Such analysis no natural by the what we are when you have you can say that for fun. But it's not an argument we make on TV where rational people are watching. So I think that they can continue ridiculous. 2028 is not far. And as long as John Mahama and his government continue to deliver on the mandate and the promises that he made to the people of this country, now, Ghana are not forgetful. Yeah. And they will make sure, sir, they will reward him for that. Why you continue to do this dirty stuff in opposition? I think the best thing that will happen to them is the party leadership must be changed. The Afenyo market, whatever he's doing, will only satisfy party food soldiers. It's just a mere party food soldier. They don't even understand the actors and the dynamics of politics. And they all appeal to foot soldiers, but not reasonable minds. But in politics, you need to get the reasonable minds on your side to be able to win any election.
All right. So, good morning.
Yeah.
There was some coming mouth penalty.
Now, one of the come out penalty, and now maybe drew higher some new program. The
last 2 weeks.
Yes.
There was a challenge, but I didn't see a fix it, and I don't know. I would have
a challenge. Challenge.
We are
my member what you I chop my mood for for say Bakumi you to my PM.
Me was all called baby and son. Okay, come on, sir. They are now the metana question.
Is here no say Jumana doso. Tia now you know oburu tot. That then you are bedroom Hanama bedroom. 3 minutes go make a massive. You have a very grass.
All right, so far you come here no be can bo mama me. Electoral Commission petition special prosecutor the minority say mo use special prosecutor na say abandon person be to corruption ase. And nanra o san detainee na what they or more review of constitution no atwa so maja to say na a party our party nim and say one be involved with the past executives to get involved in voting activities and many other things that they talk about.
Yeah, me that's Richard Ivan so me the woman say your friend is a many minority na ya gonna say ye OSP on them wa corruption no into us here to say ye need the alliance ye be konketa session asem na obo kasa da chiro ba ya mo obi ka asem ya mo mabaso so say obo ka try na mo analyze na because senye OSP we na wo ha ono afenyo na wo no ECG chrono keta session pro ya ono say ECG ye wan say ye wia e kro be ba na so ma be mu pa na obi be kasa asem na ocho na OSP ne dey echo and you OSP we no ho a obi akotu amana